Let's make sure we've got a chat window open. Thought I just opened one. Where'd it go? Oh, it's not in this browser window. Let's close it. And go with this one. There we go, and there's our chat window. All right, so let's refresh from yesterday. Thanks to everybody who showed up for the in-studio live stream last night. Yeah, it was quick. It was only 50 minutes and a few seconds. The next one will be longer and better prepared, better implemented. But I think for the first time, just the shakedown cruise, it went pretty well. All right, I'm not going to open a Zoom call unless somebody asks me to. Let's have a look at something I was going to read to you. And as I open windows, and that's not the window I was looking for, I'm going to close them. The Complacent Country, how Canadian public... Oh yeah, read that yesterday. Ed directed me to that. Ed, I missed you. Missed you at the studio last night. I mean, I didn't expect to see you at the studio, but I expected to see your name in the chat or hear your voice on the Zoom call. Let's see, the new map. Yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to read this. I'm going to actually spit out my gum. That'll make for a better reading. Pour a cup of coffee. Oh, I'm out of cream. Oh, well. Oh, well. All right. So, if anybody comments, I will see a dot here. Let's move this over. So, why China is falling out with Australia and allies. For a fresh perspective on stories that matter for Australian business and politics, sign up for our weekly newsletter. China and Australia have become embroiled in a deepening political spat that is spilling over into trade. Even with some Chinese cities suffering power blackouts in December, the Beijing authorities continued to block coal shipments from Australia, underlining their determination. Miners aren't the only exporters down under, finding it harder to access their biggest market as tensions ramp up, nor is Australia alone in feeling heat. Other countries that have clashed with China, including Canada, the UK, and India, have joined Australia in boosting cooperation and intelligence sharing, while the incoming US president has promised a more united front against Beijing. What's the China-Australia spat about? Ties have been on a downward spiral since 2018, when Australia, accusing China of meddling in its domestic affairs, passed a new law against foreign interference and espionage. It also barred Huawei Technologies Company from building the country's 5G mobile network, among the first countries to do so, citing national security. The atmosphere worsened in April after Prime Minister Scott Morrison's government called for an international inquiry into the origins of the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. Then, in November, a Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman tweeted an edited image of an Australian soldier holding a knife to the throat of an Afghan child, a barbed reference to an ongoing war crimes probe. At a time when Chinese wolf warrior diplomats are getting increasingly combative, Morrison's demand for an apology was rebuffed. Considering China is Australia's top trading partner by far, the impact has been relatively small, although the individual sectors hit would beg to differ. Starting in May, China slapped crippling tariffs on Australian barley, banned beef from 4 major meat processors, launched an anti-dumping probe into Aussie wine that led to massive levies and told importers to stop buying cotton and lobsters. Timber exports were banned, and at least $500 million worth of coal delayed for months off Chinese ports, apparently one of the catalysts for the blackouts. Still, while the reprisals have generated myriad headlines and spurred some exporters to call on Morrison to back down, the combined impact as of January amounted to a loss of just 0.3% of Australian gross domestic product, or about 600 billion US or Australian dollars, which is about 4.7 Australian or American dollars. According to government figures, sales of iron ore, the nation's largest cash cow, are still booming. Untouchable. Can I dismiss this thing? No. Okay. Untouchable, iron ore. Australian iron ore export strength is offsetting weakness elsewhere. So total goods to China. Iron ore exports are way up. Where they were, what is this, in 2019? And how far does this go? Into late 2020. So iron ore exports are up, everything else is down. Why is China doing this? After months of obfuscation, the Chinese embassy in November issued a list of 14 grievances. They included Australian decisions to reject Chinese investment on national security grounds, providing funding to what it sees as an anti-China think tank, and incessant wanton interference in Chinese affairs regarding Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Xinjiang, and in the South China Sea. It also cited allegations of racist attacks against Chinese people and accused the nation's independent media of being antagonistic. But state-backed scholars in China have said what's most angered authorities in Beijing is Morrison's push for independent investigators to be allowed into Wuhan, which they see as a slight against Chinese sovereignty, as well as his government's willingness to echo and coordinate with U.S. President Donald Trump's anti-China campaign. Quote, "Frankly speaking, we have heard too many negative voices and seen various negative moves from the Australian side," close quote, Foreign Minister Wang Yi said in December. President Xi Jinping's government has a record of using trade as a cudgel, with South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan all experiencing reprisals in recent years. Is there a way out for Australia? It's not obvious. Chinese diplomats and state media have said it's up to the government in Canberra to reset ties, but they haven't publicly made clear what Australian moves would be enough to reverse the trade reprisals. Chen Hong, director of the Australian Studies Centre in East China Normal University in Shanghai, said China is unlikely to back down until it sees substantial actions, not just rhetoric. Morrison has indicated he's unwilling to act on any of the 14 grievances. He and his ministers seem to be waiting for China to lower the temperature so a new settling point in the relationship can be found. Meanwhile, at year-end, Australia said it would formally challenge China to the World Trade Organization. At the World Trade Organization. 5. Is Australia the only country targeted? Increasingly, no. The UK has been the subject of rising vitriol, particularly over its support for Hong Kong's autonomy. Canada's insistence that any free trade deal talks with China needs to address human rights seems to have scuppered a potential pact. Things soured further with Canada's arrest in 2018 of a top executive at Huawei Technologies Corporation in Vancouver on a U.S. extradition request. China locked up 2 Canadians and halted billions of dollars in agricultural imports in the months that followed. Tensions between India and China have been escalating since their soldiers began clashing along the Himalayan frontier in 2019. India has banned dozens of Chinese apps, citing national security. Are they helping each other? Morrison has been openly reaching out to what he calls like-minded countries to form a unified front against what his government considers Chinese aggression. That's meant an increase in ministerial-level meetings of the Five Eyes intelligence sharing network that also includes the US, UK, Canada, and New Zealand. The long moribund Quad, a security framework with the US, Japan, and India, has been revived and in November held naval exercises in the Indian Ocean. Will Joe Biden change things? China sees the Trump administration's policies, such as its trade war, as so extreme that they bordered on reckless. Party officials in Beijing think those policies are unlikely to remain under the new U.S. president, who's viewed as more traditional. That could lead Australia, as a close U.S. ally, to dial down what China sees as hostility triggered by anti-communist ideology. Still, there is strong bipartisan support in Washington for a tough line on China. Biden was vice president during Barack Obama's geopolitical pivot to Asia, which sought to counter China's growing influence in the region, and support for multilateralism and his support for multilateralism could promote an even more united front against Beijing. The reference shelf. Okay. All right. Bloomberg says, pay up or get out, so I'm getting out. Alrighty. Anybody watching? Put something in the chat if you would. Just say hey. Doesn't have to be extensive. Alrighty, well. Anything else you want me to check on? Here, I'll show you. Let's have a look at the market. I haven't looked at it yet today. So, over here on the left, this is not, like top stocks on any index or, any exchange. These are just the things that I follow. So like ARK-F, Tesla, ARK-K, ARK-G, all the ARKs, except ARK-F. Oh, no, there is ARK-F. I do follow it. I don't plan to buy any. Bitcoin, 57,400. Damn. So lots of green over here. And these are the things I actually own. A piddling amount, But that's my skin in the game. Ooh. Genius Brands is actually up from where I bought it. Amazing. I've made 14 cents. Or, I have 14 cents in unrealized gains. AMC is actually recovering. It's still lower than where I bought it, but again, I never intended to make money with this. This was just an FU to the hedge funders. ARK-Q, up above where I bought it. Good. Jets, the reliable performer. Viacom, don't know what shareholders or, what the market thinks Viacom's got going on, but I've been thoroughly unimpressed with them in recent years. And Banco Santander, well, these two stocks I got for free. I can't complain. All right. Ben Rubber in the chat. Osgur Demirhan. Hope I didn't slaughter that too badly. Osgur, like Oscar, but more vibration. I got nothing. Started Kenneth Perrin's The Great Divergence. Basically, Europe exceeded in industrialization because of distribution of coal being near water transport routes and the New World. And the century before, Europe had experienced a massive population boom, per, Michael C. Mann's book. The New World crops like corn and potatoes caused a population boom in Europe. And so at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, Europe, one, had lots of workers, but they also had lots of people to fling around the world, to fling at Canada, to fling at South Africa, to fling at the Americas. So that, that happened, that process started before the Industrial Revolution. It was well underway by the time the Industrial Revolution got started. But it added to those, natural resource blessings of coal and natural water transport. So, Oscar, where are you located? Okay, I got to work. So, let's put this back on the little screen. And comic goes on the big screen. All right, I've been putting this off, but it needs doing. In the previous strip, both of these characters are wearing seatbelts, and they're not in this one, so I need to add seatbelts. Bloons Td6. I don't know what that is. Oh, Istanbul. Right on. So it's considerably later in the day for you. It's into the evening. Bloons Td6. Oh, okay. This looks like it could be right up my alley. A casual game. Ninja Kiwi strategy. Right on. You know, I often play Minecraft while I'm listening to audiobooks. I find that neither one distracts me from the other. All right, let's put on these dumb seatbelts. Let's go back to strip 101, so I have a reference. All right. Oh, and look at that. I left off the seatbelt there, too. You know what? I'm just going to say that, no, it's not going to work. All right. Oh, I hate this, that I'm back on strip 101. All right. See if I can just start in the inks layer. Ooh, that's too fat. Let's see. Yeah, just tucked in my daughter. I have about an hour for myself. All right, enjoy. Cool. Are you a CROM lister, Oscar? My daughter's turning 2 in May, so far just one child. Yeah, Better Rubber's daughter was on the live stream last night. And she was not the only youngin' on the live stream, but she was definitely the best behaved. Although it was nice that that kid called back later and apologized for, for his unproductive remarks. Oh, where's her ink layer? No. Globe ink. Not there. Not there. Where's the ink layer? There we go. Vector ink characters. That's what I need. All right. Just undo all that. Let's start again. Let's see. Let's look at the seatbelt. How did I do it before? Okay, very simple. Very simple. Ah, so I was drawing the this buckle here on her shoulder, but really it's up here behind her head. So this will that makes it a lot easier. All right, let's just go like this. And then delete that. And where are the tones for this layer? Right here, okay. Okay. That's the only one I need to add in this strip. So now, save this. I'll need to re-export it. All right, so save. Yes, overwrite. It didn't ask me if I wanted to overwrite. Huh, that's interesting. Let's export TIFF. All right. How can I get rid of all this excess? Let's see. Let's see for illustration. Scale. Reduces gaps between now. All right, here's what we'll do. Export it at 300. Hey, Ed's here. Sorry, I've been looking away. Oh, and Les is here. All right. Let's see. She is 6 and more like H2O, just add water kind of girl. Yeah. Oh, here we are. Okay. I remember being 8 and getting a rise out of doing stuff like that. We used to throw dirt clumps at cars going around 60 on a main road near us. Every once in a while, someone would stop, turn around, and we would hide or run. So dumb. Yeah, I was dumb too. Hey all, sorry for missing the major live stream yesterday. I was otherwise occupied. Well, your presence was, or your lack of presence was noted. Glad to have you here today, though, Ed. Hey, sorry I was away, but I got a lot on my plate now. Ed. Hello, Oscar. I sometimes talk with Turks on Zello. Leszek Wolkowski. What is the reason for your protracted absence? Edward Casimires. Good to see you. Australian TV series. Howdy, newly arrived partners. Life with a big L. Hello, Ben Rubber. Hello, Edward. Okay. Let's see. All right. Well, Les, did you watch the review? The replay of last night's live stream? There are still a few kinks to iron out. We're getting there. Let's see, Photoshop. Les says, no, I've been away, like away. Trip? Business trip? All documents. Oops. Print 101. All right. So let's crop this bad boy. All right, now what does that come to? Oh, but that's the old one, because there's no seatbelt. All right, what are we doing here? Nope. Okay, that's the one. I see. Ed, packing on the pounds. What's up? What's up with that? Polish brothers we are, but remember, KMO is Irish. It's almost the same, but on an island. Les says, I'm a Luddite. Like Jewish Shabbos for a month. Ha! Yeah, Edward, but that's expected. All right. There we go. There's the seatbelt. All right, so let's just trim it first. Okay. Fill that in. Ugh, not very well. Let's try that again. Let's do it like this. And down below. Now, image. Image size. Down to 300 dpi, and we'll make it 11 inches high. Okay. 7.5 across. And oops. Come on. It's not very soft. Huh. No. What the heck is this? So what else are folks talking about here? I'm on week 2 of going cold turkey from fast food. All right, good on you. It took the third pair of patched up jeans to realize I gained some flub, around 15 pounds. It's the main culprit. Was jamming the grease weekly. Les says, I was in church today. Wanted to confess my sins. Church was closed. It's rare for me to be inclined to confess. I'll have to wait for Sunday. Lowell, Ben, and Ed. I'm the only one who lost weight as of recent. I've lost a little bit, but it's weight I would have preferred not to lose. I would rather have kept that particular weight. It's easy to kid myself when I look in the mirror, but when I was looking at myself in the live stream last night, there was no room. No room for self-delusion. My 3 months off the gym are definitely showing. Not good. Not good. What is going on? It can be difficult to pop back and forth between Photoshop and other programs. Okay. Yes, replace it. It's already saved. All right. I just need to send a quick email to somebody. Well, I'll do that later. Oh, no. What do we got here? Huh. Has Jadzia mentioned anything about your weight? Just curious. My mother was always critical of women. Nope. I helped her edit an essay last night over Google Docs. Ben is on a no fast food fast. Haha. She's writing about Mexican drug trade violence. There's plenty to write about there. Hikane, I think, a.k.a. Colin, says, KMO, gotta get in the habit of logging into Restream and changing your titles before each stream. Ben Rubber, knee was slapped, Les. Ben, is your first name Benjamin? He seems to change the titles after, if anything, besides straight-up drawing happens. Thankful for video scrubbing because it's nice to speed through and see if any articles were read. Les says, Mexican women are hot. Can be. That all I could write a paper on. Violence isn't my thing. Yeah, Benjamin. Middle name Lee. Yeah, Benjamin. Middle name Lee. The name reminded Noma or Mama of the South. She lives in New Orleans for 7 years growing up. So what I miss over, I think, been a month? How's KMO? Ed, Ben, what's been new? Benjamin, son of the right hand. My conclusion is that if the drug trade were legal, the cartels would just be major corporate power players as exist in any oligarchy. It's a good strong name, says Les. Ha, thanks. Rarely used. It's always been shortened to Ben. Went to Benny for a long time. Yeah, Ed, if the drug trade was legal, the Mexicans would own all the aptecas. What are those? All right, now let's go back to strip 102 and let's put in the seatbelts. So how are we going to do this? I'm just going to create a new layer. We're going to call it, drum roll please, seatbelts. Actually, it needs to be a vector layer, so let's do that. Seatbelts, ink, and seatbelts tones. And we'll just start over here. Oh, these have both got to go above the panel I'm going to be drawing on, which is first panel merged. Okay. So now, oh, I think my tabmate needs a new battery. Nope, it's on. Okay. What's all this then? Okay, we got a tangent going there. That's no good. Let's try it like this. Better. Okay. All right. What else is new in the chat? Okay. Pharmacy. Sometimes I forget to remember. You are a being of pure evil, says Edward. Ed, how is Mexico? You were there a while, weren't you? Acapulco's side or Cancun's? I was in Puerto Vallarta. I was in the Puerto Vallarta area on the Pacific coast. It was lovely. I had to abort my trip early to avoid the heavy hand of the state meddling in my life. Ah, cold water, says Les. Aren't we all disenfranchised? Ed says, the water was not cold. I saw whales breaching from the beach. No, not all of us are. Right, you are. Just me calling out sour grapes. Alrighty. Let's go to the ink. What's happening here? You want to see something cheap? Check this out. We're just going to grab this whole belt, copy it, paste it, flip it horizontally. Yes. And drag it. Wait, why didn't that work? I know why that didn't work, because I need to merge it. So, let's see. Seatbelt ink. Copy. Paste. And over here. Now flip it. There we go. Looky there. Okay. Now, seatbelt tones. Why do I have two copies of that? Okay. All right, going to glance over at the chat here in just a second. What do we got? What do we got? Ed, did you have any penetrating thoughts of relevance whilst in paradise? I just not. I really think you have some really good ideas, so pray tell. Thank you for this question. Yes, I had a few. It'll come to you again like a fresh wind. Ed says, I was talking with a friend about the Torah. Torah or Tanakh? And I suggested that some sacred texts might be like the shadows cast in our plane of existence from objects that exist more fully at higher dimensions. Okay, so Kabbalah, says Les. Ed says, is that what Kabbalah teaches? Les says, unfortunately, I don't know what Christianity has to say to this. All I know is that Jews missed the boat. Higher dimensions, past lives, and speaking of shadows is Kabbalistic talk. I'm not qualified to ascertain anything more. I have a particular fondness for Jewish people. I tend to get along with the ones in my life. Les says, yeah, you either love them or you hate them. Jews have the same feelings for each other, too. It's an odd nation with an even number. And a half-Jewish friend. I had a half-Jewish friend. We used to joke together, we make one full Jew. Leszek Wolkowski, after the end of World War II, were the borders of Poland to the state they were in before it was invaded? Oh, were they restored? Were the borders restored? Les says, he looks full Jew, I looks full Slav. You know, Les, I'm surprised that that YouTube is not censoring your use of the word Jew. Usually when you type anything even remotely non-PC, it gets edited right out of the comments that I see. Maybe YouTube is paying out the rope it needs for you and me to hang ourselves. Okay, so now, Seatbelts Inc. We merge down with Seatbelts Tones and we just call it Seatbelts. All right, so now we need seatbelts in 1, 2, 3 additional panels. So, seatbelts. Duplicate layer. You know, I wish it was copy layer. That doesn't make sense, though. It's got to be duplicate. Duplicate layer, but duplicate and then they put delete right under it. It's so easy to delete something when you meant to duplicate it and vice versa. Okay, so that's 4 total. So now let's go to the second one. And just drag it over here. And there we go. So let's place it exactly. All right. And now copy number 3 comes down here. Again, we zoom in on the steering yoke to get the positioning exactly right. All right. And one more. Okay, what's going on? Huh, this one's a little different. All right, so just need to come in here. Fill that in. actually. Good. What's all this? The borders of Poland will never be restored, just as Jews will never have their Messiah, says Lessig. That message was held for review. Oh, so Ed's the one who's given the green light to your questionable use of language there, Les. Oscar says, especially if used in the same timeline as the word hate. I saw that happen with piss and shit. Yeah, I saw that. Does that mean a human reviewed it? Well, the human in this case was Ed, I think. Review and on hold forever. Yes, I or you can review them. Congratulations, you've received 100 messages today with Restream Chat. Awesome. Ed says, and allow them or not. The Order of the Blue Wrench. Yes. Ooh, we are those humans. You were the blue wrenched ones. The Order of One. No, it's an Order of Two. Rose is a member too. That's right, Order of Three. But it's been a long time since we've done one of these while Rose was awake. The Duo Polordos. What is that? She was the first, says Ed. Tres Polordos. Sorry for the spamming. All right. So, we now have our seat belts in place. But I can see that for some reason Pix's hands in this panel aren't the right color, so let's fix that. So what level is that? This is panel 7. All right. What are we going to do here? No, that ain't it. All right, what are we doing? Oh, they're darking all of these. I see. Well, what are we going to do here? Oh boy, so many layers. Where is this 7th panel? 6th panel. I have to just turn off everything. There we go. Oh no, that wasn't it. There. Cockpit tones, really. That's all cockpit tones. Huh. So this is... Alright, now let's take... Okay. Okay, so we'll copy those hands. Let's turn everything else back on. What's going on? I'm missing some tones down here. That's what's going on. I can lose this entirely. Mm. What's happening? There we go. Wow. Okay, I bought 20 shares of Roblox yesterday. Ed says, Ed, do you remember any of your last dreams? They're a gaming platform company. I don't know about Roblox, says Les. Invest in Empower Clinics, says Les. Yes, I have a vivid one early this morning. It would require paragraphs of text to describe. Les says, I was a millionaire for a few days before it corrected. It'll go back up. Good CEO. And it always retests previous highs. Ben Rubber says, tragic. I restocked with a 24-pack of Utica beer. First beer sold after Prohibition, it says. I bounce around that, Old Vienna, and Yingling. Ha ha! Yingling, right on. I usually start a session with an 8%-ish IPA. Lessick says, damn, I feel Jewish. You mentioned stocks, and I'm like a hawk on prey. What was your vivid dream? I'll refrain from spamming. Tell me your dream. A major highlight was my aquarium being on the floor and cracking. The water leaked out, and my assassin snails were on the floor. Yingling is good, says Lessick. I had it in Pittsburgh with an old friend of mine, long time ago. I wanted to collect the water from the floor because it's full of microorganisms. Les says, that's a good sign. Ed, that's good. You'll have luck soon. There was also a man with authority talking about USA politics, and I asked him some questions about his opinions. Good luck, like Noah after the flood. It'll be all yours. What did he say? Wonderful, says Ed. He was a professor giving a critical analysis of the Trump era, and I asked him if his claims could be backed up empirically or if they were opinions. Lol, says Les. And he said they were factual, not mere opinions. I'm joking, of course, Ed. We had this conversation as I was trying to salvage my Walstead tank water and assassin snails. I like you because you're curious, says Les. Ben Rubber says, I'm going to worm out of this Pomeranz book. Need to get through it so I can start the myth of the ecological Indian. Lessick says, assassin snails. By the way, I forget, can they reciprocate just by themselves? Can they reprocreate? Might pop in later. Ta-ta for now. See you, Ben Rubber. Serwis, Benjamin. Alrighty. Back over here. So, hands. Up here. There. All right, so this is panel 2. So let's move that down. Okay. So now we have the right color hands and seatbelts in all the correct panels. So let's re-export this bad boy. Oh, I never did export it over here. Okay, great. So it's 102 TIFF. Let's make it. All right, now jump ahead to some actual drawing that needs doing. All right, so first, let's get all the dialogue in the correct order. So where do you want me to land? Give me a sec. Oh, come on. That's this one. Yeah. There we go. All right. All right. What am I missing here? Yes, they can reproduce. What's the myth of the ecological Indian? Are they hermaphroditic? It's a book. I don't know. They are predators. The pond snail population has exploded. They hunt and eat them. Yeah, I heard they're an invasive species in Florida. Here's the book. Let's see. The Ecological Indian, Myth and History by Shepherd Kresh III. The idea of the Native American living in perfect harmony with nature is one of the most cherished contemporary myths, but how truthful is this larger-than-life image? According to anthropologist Shepherd Kresh, the first humans in North America demonstrated all of the intelligence, self-interest, flexibility, and ability to make mistakes of human beings anywhere. And Nicholas Lemon, as Nicholas Lemon put it in The New Yorker, Kresh is more than just a conventional wisdom outrunner. He has a serious larger point to make. Concepts like ecology, waste, preservation, and even the natural as distinct from human world are entirely anachronistic when applied to Indians in the days before European settlement of North America. Offers a more complex portrait of Native American peoples, one that rejects mythologies, even those that both European and Native Americans might wish to embrace. Oh, right on. Here we go. May I excuse myself for 15 minutes? I'd like to buy more beer. Well, go for it. I might even go and buy a couple beers after the stream is over, because I'm going to watch last night's episode of Resident Alien, and it is a comedy, and beer definitely helps. Ed says, I enjoy playing ecologist. I am a god to a small world. You are dismissed. Like Liet Kynes, too bad the next one won't be Max von Sydow. Well, Max died, didn't he? Was that a burp? KMO, now that I'm finished watching The Mandalorian, any tips on what to use my Disney Plus subscription for before I cancel it? Well, you watched WandaVision? I don't know if you follow the MCU, if you care what happened after Endgame. See you guys later. Well, thanks for coming by, Oscar. Glad to have you here. Oh shoot, Ed, have you seen the last 4 episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars? If not, I would do that. I would watch those. It's going to be season 7, I guess. Just the last 4 episodes of the season. The rest of the season is, it's pretty. It looks great, but the stories didn't really need to be told, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, if you haven't watched the last 4 episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, watch that before you watch anything else. That's just amazing. All right. Ed, guess what time it is? I mean, you can look at the clock, but guess what I need to do right now? Yes, you are correct. Microwave my coffee. Hey, Ed, do you know about NFTs, non-fungible tokens? Ed, you're going to watch all 7 seasons of the Clone Wars? That'll take you a long time. That is quite a commitment. No, last year Disney released a 7th season. And most of it is pretty skippable, really. But the last 4 episodes, it interweaves with Revenge of the Sith. Yep, if you had a cup warmer for your desk, it would obviate the need for this frequent microwavation. I know. I know it would, but I already have the microwave. I don't already have the cup warmer. And there are other things that I could use more than that. I know what non-fungible tokens are. Well, people, artists I'm seeing on Instagram are combining NFTs with, their artwork, trying to raise money. I'd be interested in that. Back, says Les. Back with beer. I could totally go for some beer. Beer would be good. That's music from Angry Birds 2? I think it is. Yeah. You may do that with your works, sir. They create digital collectibles. Yeah, but I don't know how to do it or how to advertise that I'm doing it. All right, so let us go back to this. Then we can turn off the dialogue. This is going to take a long time if I do it at this scale, the whole image. Adding the texture by hand like this. But I have folks here to keep me company. But it's tedious. I'm going to draw instead. I'll do the tedious stuff later. Right now I want to show some progress. So let's go new layer. We'll call this, come on, character sketch. And we'll start with Derek. So let's turn off all that dialogue. Go to the sketch layer and take it way down. No, I don't want to turn it off. I want to just turn it down. Down, 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 down. Okay, good. Oh, let me get the chat back. They create digital collectibles. You may do that with your works, sir. So, Ed, how do you anticipate losing those 15 pounds? Via walking and swimming and eating less wheaty foods. I made a big old pot of red beans and rice today. I'll be eating on that for 2 or 3 days. Let's see. I want you to be the best you can be and happy. That way it'll rub off on me whenever I talk with you. Then you must help me get past my productivity blocks. Oh, I know that pain. Sounds good. You sound like a dietitian. Put your knowledge to good use. Then give me an email, Edward. I'll comment, critique, and push you forward. All right. Let's put this character sketch. Let's see. Then give me an email, Edward. Well, tell you what, Les, you send me an email and I'll forward that to Ed, and then he'll have your email address. So my email address, which everybody knows, or is welcome to know, is kmo@c-realm.com. Sweet Lezic. Ha! All right, character tones. Yeah. Oh, Les just threw his email right there in the chat. Les, do you want to keep that there, or do you want it erased? Huh. I don't have the power to erase it would seem. Ed, just imagine that there'll be a huge mega sunburst in the next few years that'll fry everything. I took a modafinil about an hour ago. Oh, you're going to be up all night then. It's starting to kick in. I don't need that. Entering my 50s with few accomplishments to my name has already lit a fire under my ass. And if not, it doesn't matter. We should live in fear. We shouldn't live in fear. Of course not. I'm every inconsiderate, immoral, immaculately improper trolling deed I am online. Hey, you have progeny. That's one more than me. Did you know that Montreal is the world's center for internet porn distribution? I didn't know that. The main player is called MindGeek. I've heard of them. They own Pornhub and the rest of that ilk. You can erase it since you asked. Well, I don't know how to erase it. Maybe Ed can do that. Oh, well, then erase my latter statement. They are in a meltdown now. The Pornhub people are in a meltdown? But hey, you're not that popular, KMO. Sorry, but it's the truth. That's stability in ignominy. Well, it doesn't take popularity for a web-crawling algorithm to snatch up that email address and send it to the spammers of the world. Oh, wow, it's already as light as it gets. Interesting. All right. All right. Paper sketch. Alrighty. Dare I just grab this panel from the previous strip? I might. It would certainly move things along. Placed correctly? No. So, let's see. Oh, Ed left? Let's see. Who's in Meltdown? Let me back up a little. MindGeek. They own Pornhub and the rest. They are in a meltdown now. But hey, you're not that popular. There should be a holy Christian saint or angel against spammers. Maybe it's Michael. He's in charge of travel. St. Anthony is in charge of finding things. Les, I will go take a shower now and be right back. See you soon. Just me and you now, KMO. KMO, have you ever talked about your childhood? Well, sure, of course. Mine was great until grade 6, then it started sucking. I think I'm finally reaching my grade 6 highs. Grade 5, I mean. Be right back. Phone. Alright. Well, I'm here. I'll be doing the drawing. His seat back is like that, and hers over here, like that. So her torso is there. And she's turning and tilting her head. And I'm not even going to put the yolk in here at all. It's just going to be her face. Alright, let's get rid of the rough layer. Go from here. Let's see. You've got to be kidding me. What? Is that an Android tablet? I take it you're on Team iOS. Let's do this. Yeah. Oh, wrong. Come on. Black. Light gray. All right, well, I don't think we're going to be able to do it with just... Come on, there we go. You've got to be... kidding. Let's bold that. There we go. What? All right. Hold that. Alrighty. Now, oops, we'll add those later. Back to the drawing. Ooh, way too big. Ed's back. Les got a phone call and has been occupied with it ever since. Ed writes, I would like to know your thoughts about why, on the public radio stations I listen to, a good 80% of the content is concerned with one oppressed class of people or another. And none of them are the working class, are they? This is getting to be a broken record for me, but the people who are super concerned about, saying the wrong words and offending people with non-traditional sexual orientation, or people with more pigmentation, or people without penises. Well, I shouldn't even say that, because I'm told that what genitalia somebody actually has on their body has nothing to do with whether they're male or female. But anyway, people who are really fixated on those topics and want to speak about them to the exclusion of everything else, in my opinion, are really just not wanting to talk about the growing wealth gap, the opportunity gap, the fake meritocracy that we live under. They don't want to talk about class issues, basically. So everything's got to be about race and gender and sexuality. Ooh, no. All right. Les is back, because divide and conquer, Ed. Yep, exactly. Prevent working class solidarity. All right, here. Ed, are you really 50? I was born in June of 1969. So you're 51? I was born in April of 68, and I'm 52. Let's see. It's a book I've meant to read but haven't. Let's not go that way. Let's go this way. I feel like we'd all be good friends on the playground. I was born in 82. Damn. Youngster. "1984 was my first summer with a car. Glorious. Glorious, glorious. I feel like reading something. Any requests? I bought the second issue of Wired magazine when it was fresh on the newsstand. I bought the first issue of Wired magazine at a bookstore in Japan, and it cost me so much that from the first issue, I just took their blow-in mailer, and I subscribed. And even with the overseas postage, it still costs less for a year subscription mailed to my door than it cost me to buy that one issue in the bookstore. That was back when Lawrence Lessig was a big voice in that magazine. And was Kevin Kelly the first editor-in-chief? Or did he come later? I don't remember. Anyway, any requests for reading? Unless it's got another phone call. Ed, any requests? All right, well, then I will find something on my own. Let's see. All right. Will I be able to read it? Oh, yeah, I guess so. No, I will not. Okay, never mind. I don't have any requests offhand. Okay, good. The Economist. And this is behind the paywall one too, isn't it? Whatever. Yep. He writes in magazines you actually have to pay to read. What do we got here? Calls for criminal investigation. MindGeek. All right. Yeah, I'll read about this. CBC. Putting out the news for free. Thank gosh. Survivors, NGOs call for criminal investigation of porn giant MindGeek. More than 100 survivors of sexual exploitation and hundreds of non-governmental organizations are urging Ottawa to pursue a full criminal investigation of Pornhub's parent company. In a letter to the House of Commons Ethics Committee this week, the coalition asked the federal government to push for a police probe of MindGeek, which they accuse of violating child protection laws and sharing intimate images without consent. The Montreal-based company has come in for heavy criticism in the past few months following accusations it distributed exploitive videos and failed to adequately screen for illegal material. MindGeek executives have denied any wrongdoing and said their company is a world leader in preventing the distribution of content showing child sexual abuse. What? MindGeek executives have denied any wrongdoing and said their company is a world leader in preventing the distribution the distribution of content showing child sexual abuse and non-consensual acts. Quote, MindGeek has zero tolerance for non-consensual content, child sexual abuse material, and any other content that lacks the consent of all parties depicted, close quote, the company said in an email. The harrowing stories, quote, the harrowing stories of survivors, damn. Guess what? It's warm out. My windows are open. The harrowing stories of survivors of CSAM and non-consensual imagery shake us to our core. In December, several major credit card companies suspended payment services to Pornhub, prompting the world's largest pornography platform to scrub some 10 million videos posted by unverified users. At least 5 lawsuits have been filed against the company in the U.S. and Canada over the past year and a half of survivors of child abuse, sex trafficking, and non-consensual image uploads. Quote, I too feel like Pornhub has become my human trafficker, and they have been relentless in doing so, said survivor Victoria Gailey, testifying before the Ethics Committee last month about videos posted without her consent depicting what she says was sexual assault. Thanks to Pornhub today is day 1,292 that I have been naked on these porn sites, another witness testified on February 19th. The group behind the letter, signed by 104 survivors and 525 NGOs in countries ranging from Austria to Zambia, applauded the committee for studying the issue. MindGeek defends efforts. The coalition called on the government to encourage an investigation by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and to take, quote, immediate legislative and regulatory action to protect children from this predatory and unethical corporation, close quote. The letter claims MindGeek enabled and profited from a range of criminal content distributed across some of its 160-odd platforms. MindGeek CEO Ferris Antoon and Chief Operating Officer David Tassio testified last month that all content on the website is screened using multiple software tools before being approved by human moderators. MindGeek Canada Managing Director Ferris Antoon appears on a screen during a sound check as he waits to appear virtually before the House of Commons Standing Committee on Access to Information, Privacy and Ethics on February 5th, 2021 in Ottawa. Quote, "We always instruct our agents to err on the caution side. If you have any doubts at all, just don't let it up." Close quote. Tassio told the committee on February 5th. However, the coalition says that testimony implies the company, quote, "knowingly and willfully distributed child sexual abuse materials," close quote. Lawyer calls Pornhub's age verification process a joke. Let's see what we got going here. For more from an insider, I can recommend the top Reddit comment on this thread. Okay, we'll come back to that. The Canadian Centre for Child Protection, the U.S. National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children, and the RCMP have all said they only began receiving reports of child sexual abuse images from Pornhub in late 2020. You know, people have been using Pornhub as an alternative means of getting out censored news stories. That's when all of these accusations surfaced, when it was expedient to make sure only professional pornographers could post content to Pornhub. It also appears that MindGeek has violated Canada's laws on publication of intimate images without consent, the letter states. Danny Painter, a lawyer with the U.S. National Center on Sexual Exploitation, called Pornhub's age verification process a joke. Multiple survivors, including Gailey, allege that videos shared without consent, sometimes depicting sexual assault or child pornography, were posted by Pornhub's verified users. These content partners must submit a selfie of themselves holding a piece of paper with their username and Pornhub.com, according to the company website. There was a victim in Florida whose 68 videos were shared on there. She was a missing child who was found because of those videos, Painter said in an interview. The sex trafficker was a verified user who had uploaded those videos. There was another instance of that happening in California. MindGeek said in a statement, "It goes above and beyond the demands of Canadian law. Those who post CSAM and non-consensual imagery are criminals. We will not stop working to improve our security until we have prevented every one of these criminals from abusing our platforms," the company said. It said it works with more than 40 nonprofit organizations to moderate and report content on its platforms. MindGeek voluntarily registered to report child pornography to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in March 2020, said John Clark, the center's executive director. Pornhub submitted more than 13,000 reports to the U.S. organization, though 9,000 of them were duplicative, Clark said last month. The House Ethics Committee continues to weigh concerns about privacy and streaming platforms such as Pornhub. It is expected to report with recommendations later this year. All right. What are your thoughts on that, Ed? So, here's somebody who claims to work at MindGeek, and this is in the denunciation d'exploitation sexuelle juvenile. All right. Fortunately, this appears to be in English, because I don't read French. I work there, and MindGeek has lied to the Federal Ethics Commission. Their content removal system was not at all functional. It had a limit of 200 emails per day for years since its installment, on top of being barely working since the beginning, meaning they missed out on possibly hundreds of thousands of emails that just died in transit. The Pornhub one got exploited easily a few days ago. Apparently, none of the support staff ever realized, oh, I get 200 mails a day almost every day. How weird, in years. The people they use for content management are mostly outsources from Cyprus that are extremely lowly paid with zero quality control. They couldn't give a damn about the content they let through or don't. There is so much abuse going on at their businesses that the entire Romanian office quit. Everyone's salary is on the lower end, while the execs drive around Jaguars and Lambos to the office on site's parking. The bonuses are small, and they installed smoke and mirrors with pointless parties and Russian roulette free breakfast. This year, we get 50 cents worth of candy for Halloween in a surprise box. They exploit engineering visa workers by making sure they have full control of the visa process and dangling their visas in front of them when need be. I know a team lead on their ad platform that makes $40,000 a year because he can live in Canada at least. Always denied pay increases because the company puts a lot of time and effort into making sure he can stay. Absolute bananas of a company. $40K a year sounds good to me. The engineering floor is extremely sexist. I mean, extremely. I heard coworkers getting yelled at called cum vacuums, and nobody even bat an eye. This was on the floor in front of everyone. Team leads constantly hit on female devs. I know the old fart RedTube lead used to keep telling a Pornhub female dev that used to work under him that they are meant to be and it's only a matter of time and that she's perfect for him, trying to groom her. Now he got a promotion. Laugh out loud. The ex-technical director was constantly trying to get in the pants of another female dev. Of course, considering she's a single mom, do you think she'll say no to the people that can fire her? Fun shit. Female devs don't last long. They either endure and go with it or magically get bad performance reviews and get let go of. During a meeting, an exec even confidently made rape jokes in front of women. Crazy. This company is down the gutter, and half the engineering and IT department quit already. The other half is in the process of quitting. The CEO is having such a panic attack about this that there was a hiring freeze to try to stop new employees from possibly spying and talking to the ethics committee. They recently found out that a bunch of even their paid models had filmed while underaged. Nearly no vetting process. The other smaller websites had to scramble and delete the content. They've been working devs around the clock to try to fix the mistakes of the management. The problem is these issues were raised many times by engineering too. Product team just didn't care. They were too busy just doing snow angels in money. So much money. And we don't even have RRSP. I'm not sure what that is. By product, I don't mean the lowly PMs. I mean the actual product team. They stopped taking town hall questions because the CEO was running out of excuses why he can't have RRSP. Okay, what is RRSP? Registered Retirement Savings Plan? Is that what that means in this context? The greed is unfathomable. Of course, the managers have been flexing the crap out of their legal team muscles to make sure the employees stick to their NDA. Threats were distributed like warm bread by a baker after the first ethics hearing, especially to PH devs that know all the dirt. Anyone with half a brain can see through the ridiculously sparse damage control emails the CEO is sending, saying, "We'll be stronger than ever." Absolutely insane company. Please hear my advice. Do not work there. Do not use their product. Do not trust anything David and Ferris say. Wow. All right. I too wonder why this is blowing up now. It does not appear to be a new problem. Why now is it exploding? RRSP is Retirement Savings Plan, a common perk. Okay, usually companies will match employee contributions. Good. All right. That was worth reading. I feel I know a little bit more about the world now. Oh, why do I have Gmail open? Leave. All right. Oh, it's a video. Can't play that. Oh well. It's by Bill Gates too. Interesting. All right, I need to get back to drawing. Ed, were you on the stream when I talked to Mushroom Mike most recently? I think it was last week, or was it this week? No, it was this week. We're late in the week now. It's earlier this week. We talked about the place where he lives. You cut. You cut. You did. No, you. Oh, what do we got here? I wasn't on the stream then. Ugh, back, says Les. What's blowing up, Ed? I'm always afraid to click on links. It's a PTSD disorder of sorts. In the future, I could take those kinds of calls for you, at Lessick. I already have a secretary, says Les. It's spelled secretary. Right. Rock that spelling, Ed. No, just that. It's friendly teasing, my fring. You corrected your spelling, Les. What have we here? You made a small spelling error, and I didn't let it go. I teased you. Okay, I'll just have to trust you on that one. Oh, but I thought I'm infallible, says Les. Shucks, darn it. There goes my ego. Just drink some more beer. That'll fix it. Don't worry, I used to spell separate incorrectly for years. Oh my goodness, I spell everything wrong. Until my boss at Canadian Railways caught it. That was before auto spell check. Better than spelling incorrectly. 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 All right. Auto spell check is killing me as of late, says Les, because I have it set on English, yet I write most of my stuff in Polish. I end up unwittingly sending Polish letters peppered with random English words. That's easy to fix. I have an interesting thought about autocomplete. Oh, I hate autocomplete. Anyway, thank God I'm limited to 2 languages. A third I wouldn't be able to handle. May I have your invitation to share it with you? What's your epiphany, Ed? You could learn German and Russian too. That would be a difficult thing for me. I'm just hoping to learn Spanish. Okay. So here. Oh, yawn. All right. So. That's really all I need. Oh, no. Turn that one off. Right. Autocomplete is being trained by what humans write. I have to spend monies for membership. I'd rather just send you a box of good cigars. I've never paid anything online, and I'd like to keep it that way. Human writing is being influenced by autocomplete, so both are influencing each other. And I like to do things the old-fashioned way. What will be the outcome of these feedbacks? What do we got here? Human writing is being influenced by autocomplete, so both are influencing each other. Les says, and I like to do things the old-fashioned way. Ed says, what will be the outcome of these feedbacks? Les says, humans will adapt. It's the law of reflexivity. Because AI is the weakest link. For AI to work, there will always have to be a person on the other side to decide. AI is just a meta tool for human-on-human control. That's all it is. Nothing more. Nothing less. And there it is. Quantum computing won't change much aside from finance. So with all the tech, it'll still be the planet of the apes, meaning us. Ed says, I agree with Gary Kasparov, who asserts that AI-assisted humans will always outperform both humans alone and AI alone. Well, I don't know about the always, but in certain domains they do now. Oh, right, cyborgs. But they'll look weird, and they'll be geeks/nerds. Bah, weirdos. Well, geeks/nerds rule the world right now. You must not confuse robots with AI. They are distinct, though related categories. Yes. True that. Did I just draw all that on the character? I did. Oh my goodness. All right, here's what we do. We select all of this stuff. Copy it. And we put it on the character sketch level. And turn that level way down. All right. Ed, do you think there might be another category? Robots, cyborgs, AI, perhaps something else? Well, there's also androids. Maybe you would consider them under the same category as robots, but I heard a presentation by Isaac Arthur recently, which convinced me that it's worth keeping androids and robots categorically apart. What else have I got here? What about spiritual mechanized entities? Is that a thing yet? No, it's not. Trying to think outside the box. I'm loath to use woo words like spiritual and divine. They're too non-specific and lead to loosey-goosey thinking. Les says, because, I believe in the spirit realm. I actually know on my own skin it exists, and AI and robots exist. So in my thinking, there could be a Frankenstein event here. Yes, but every word is loose goose until it flies. Ed says, there is a set of knowledge which is confirmable by others. Les says, that's what my priest said. Ed says, it is based on personal intuition. One cannot expect others to accept it or act on it. Quote, see that thing over there? It's a rock. It's heavy. We can make a wall with it, close quote. Les says, yes, I've been thinking on the relationship of subjective and objective, and I've come to the conclusion that they'll stay world apart, for they are two different realms, both real. Separate but equal magisterium, eh? Ed says, versus, let's try to invest this machine with spirit. Les says, yes, my friends tell me I'm too forceful in my convictions. It just means I've failed, I think, in my rhetoric. But God knows, I think I'm right. No. There we are. Oh, lordy. What's all that? All right. Just follow your pencil lines, dude. I did it again. Save. New messages. What else? What else we got? All right. Back. Wow, you guys are going. Ed, how is Mexico? Tell me the best of it. One thing I love about Mexico is that they tolerate a lot more chaos. Les says, you saw whales in the Pacific? Man, I've never seen those creatures in the personal. I haven't either, as far as I can remember. I was talking about this with Rose last night, and I've seen dolphins in the wild, but I don't ever recall having seen whales. Not even orca, and I lived in Seattle for years. There are chickens and dogs running around freely, and trucks with loudspeakers blasting advertisements. Less of an emphasis on keeping things under control. Les says, that reminds me of a story I heard from the World War II aces. Ed continues, they enjoy more liberty than we do in Canada. It was an immediate uplift on day one to see hustle and bustle of street life. Les says, until the Poles started flying for the RAF, they weren't successful in fending off the Krauts, because the British always flew in formation. Ed continues, compared to the shadow of the cloud of doom that the pandemic lockdown casts here, more than the USA, Canada is an offshoot of Britain. Les continues, whereas when the Poles started flying their amazing Spitfires, they started picking off the germs one by one. It was personal. And it was a duel in the sky. Ed continues, what faction of Poles formed the new government after World War II? Les says, Mexico are a subtropical civilization. Ed says, the Russia-backed communists? The government in exile in London? Les says, they don't care about COVID. They got chikungunya, leishmania, strongyloides, malaria, etc. Less than Africa, but they still get it pretty bad. Russia decided post-World War II Poland. It was a disaster for us, says Les. The Aztecs were at the level of civilization of the Sumerians when the 16th century Spaniards made contact. Well, gents, I'm going to get out and walk to the store while it's still light outside. But I'm glad that you were both here. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll be doing this again. So...